So here we go. Thank you, parents, for coming today to our session to review the Olsat test. It is the Otis Lennon School Ability Test. Normally, this assessment is administered to second graders. However, with the school closures, we were not able to do that. So students who did not return last year are going to be assessed this year. So we have to pick up third and we have to pick up fourth grade, the fourth grade students that missed this. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see what happened there. Let's open this. Sorry. And thank you for being here. Allow. All right, so there are 7 different categories that you can have your child be classified as gifted. So think about it as an umbrella, and there's 7 categories that all fall under that umbrella of gifted. The one that we are going to be focusing in on is the High Achievement Ability Assessment. This basically, in layman's term, is your child a good test taker? The intellectual ability will analyze a different hemisphere of the brain, but this one is basically high achievement. Are they good test takers in a nutshell? It's high achievement category. So this is a very common question that comes up. Is the Olsat an intellectual test? And no, it is an achievement test. It tests your ability to see how you do with assessments. So it is not an intellectual assessment. The intellectual assessment is a different process. So can a student be identified as highly gifted? No, they can only be highly gifted through the intellectual assessment. So they either pass it or don't. That's it on this particular one. The intellectual assessments, this other one right here, that is identified through either the parent recommendation or teacher recommendation. Next, what is the Otis Lennon, so Olsat test? It's a nationally standardized norm reference test administered on the student's ability to learn and succeed in school. It's a paper and pencil test. It's in person. It's administered in school. And this year we are going to be assessing with level C booklets. Why do we assess? This is very important. An analysis of 2009 pilot data indicates that this assessment supports the district goal for the Office of Civil Rights to address the disproportionate number of underrepresented student populations and identify students who may be overlooked by the referral process. Because previously, this particular one, the intellectual assessment, is based by teacher recommendation. So what if your teacher doesn't realize that you have a certain talent? This test is administered to every single second grade student in the district. It's a universal screening tool for the gifted and talented identification. There's no parent consent that's required because it's embedded in part of our programs here at LAUSD. So what is it? It's Pearson's Publishing has confirmed that the level C paper pencil test is an appropriate administration for second grade, and it's okay for third and fourth grade students. So your child's results will be scored based on their chronological age. So you might ask yourself, wait a minute, this test is administered to second graders. What if my child is in third or fourth? It will be calibrated based on their age, so not grade level. So why do we administer it? The benefits of being a GATE student are that we are able to cluster the students here at Placencia in an environment to nurture their unique ability and support their full potential and thrive in a setting with other peers in their intellectual cohort. So who will be assessed? All third grade students and any fourth grade students at the school site who did not get tested as a second or third grader because of the closures of schools. And this year, all students in second grade will be assessed. And if you could give me one moment, I'm going to actually pause this recording, resume recording. Okay, so all students in second grade will be administered this assessment in the fall, but in the spring, but in the fall, we will pick up students in third and fourth grade. Now, moving on to the next one, let's see, let's not mark up. Let's go to the next one. Are any students exempt from this test? The only students who are exempt are students who are in a modified curriculum, like special ed, for example. And if your student has already previously been identified, how many do you have? And how many students you have? So give me 2 back. There you go. Okay, perfect. And any students whose parents have requested non-participation in this exam, and any student who has previously taken this Olsat test in second or third grade. And this is a big key, any students who have been pre-exposed to this assessment. So not sure if your child is exempt or already labeled as gifted, you can contact me and I'm more than happy to let you know if they have previously been assessed in the intellectual category or if they have already been administered this test. Next, English language learners. So parents sometimes will say, well, what if my child is an English language learner? Are they exempt? And they're only exempt if they are new to the country or the school site makes a decision to exempt a student and it does require administrator approval. There are no modifications or accommodations for this test. It is a time test and extra time cannot be afforded to any student. There's no modifications made to the content of the assessment. The directions read more than once, and this is very important. You cannot read the instructions twice to the students. So when they're taking this, a lot of time teachers support and they often repeat themselves. So when your child is preparing for this exam, it's very important to make sure that they listen the first time. And this has already been shared with the teachers, and literally right now, the students are taking their practice tests and the teachers are reviewing just to give them that practice that they can only listen to the instructions the first time. And like I said previously, there's no extended time for this exam. We will be taking the exam October 13th and 14th of next week. There's one makeup date. So if they do not take it on these 3 days that they have the opportunity to take it, they will not have another opportunity. And give me a second. Next one, is there a makeup test? Like I said, October 15th is the makeup test. Parent notifications will be sent out in an informational letter that you will receive. You will only sign and return this letter if you want your child to participate in the GATE program. If they're not identified, you will not receive a letter and you do not have to sign the paper. Now, not sure when your child's administering. Like I said, it's going to be next Wednesday through Friday, just to make sure that that's clear. Now, the structure of the Olsat test is that it is a time test. If you're, it's going to have to be based because our fourth grade students have already previously some of the students who came back to school have already taken this exam. So fourth grade students will take it in 2 sittings, but it will be the same day. Third grade students who were not here, they pretty much the whole entire class is going to take it. They're going to take it through 2 days because that's the preferred option. But we cannot do that with our fourth grade students because of a lack of personnel to be able to take the students who have already taken it out and then return them. We can't have 2 groups inside of one that has already taken the test, one that has not. There's 60 questions in all, 82 minutes in total, approximate time. It's roughly about 40 minutes each. Students will mark their answers directly in their test booklets, and test questions are read to the students again 1 time. What does it measure? It measures likeness and differences, recalling words, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some examples. So ability to determine which picture in 5 does not belong, that's 1. A picture analogy, the ability to infer the relationship between pictures and select the picture that's related to the stimulus picture in the same way. And they get increasingly more complex. So these are just really simple examples, but as the students progress in their booklet, they become more complex. And then here's another one, the ability to infer a relationship between a pair of geometric shapes and select the shape that is related to the stimulus in the same way. And then we have a pattern matrix. So again, ability to supply missing elements in a matrix of geometric shapes. So as you can see, the test becomes increasingly more complex. The practice test, as I mentioned, is being administered to all of the students right now. The purpose of the practice test is to prepare students to take the Lennon Ability Test, 8th edition, so that they can be familiar with the types of questions that will appear on the test. This practice test is not scored. Basically, the kids are going to go through it and they will not get any feedback in terms of if it was the right answer or wrong answer, because you're leading students. The practice test is not scored, therefore students should be given as much help as they need. No, sweetie, I'm sorry. She does not test. She does not test. No, she does not test until October the 26th. Okay, the practice test is not scored, as I mentioned. The most effective use, the practice test should be used at approximately 1 week prior. So that's why our tests are being administered next Wednesday, and today's Tuesday. We're doing this 1 week so that the kids can become familiar with the structure of the test. This is a required statement. It is an official product authorized and published by Pearson's Publishing. Administering this practice test will not invalidate the test results. Students will take the practice test to simulate the actual test taking experience. The practice test will be sent home. So it says right here can, but I'm letting you know that it will be sent home today after it has been completed with the class, and you are more than welcome to review it with your child. It also has a required notice that is being sent home with the test that explains that this is a copyrighted material and you cannot duplicate it or share the contents of what is in the practice test. Not sure if your child already took it? Well, the teacher has a master list and you are more than welcome to review the list with the teacher. And Mrs. Linares is here. Miss Linares, we're sort of at the tail end of the content, but you can say hi to Paige's mom. She's here with us today.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. I was in another meeting. I'm so sorry. I was meeting with my boss, and that's important.
It's
not that important, but yeah, it was 2 meetings scheduled at the same time. But thank you for being with us, and I know Ms. Montañez answered all of your questions.
Yes, and the good news is that I did have several parents who asked to record it. So this is being recorded and we'll share it on our website in Schoology so that parents can look at this afterwards. So thank you for stopping by, Ms. Linares. I know it's a busy day with COVID testing and everything that we do. So thank you for being here. All right. All right. Now let's go ahead and move along. And let's see. So help for young test takers. The Olsat has several different features designed to make your child feel more comfortable with test taking and guide your student through the test. There are going to be sample items from each test that the teacher will guide them through. And there's, as you saw, lots of pictures throughout the test booklet. And each subtest has items that are clearly marked. So there's, again, 2 tests, 2 different sittings that this children will take the test during that 2 sittings. And they're both different types of questions, but each one, the teachers will go through the instructions. And then they will have question prompts dictated by the teacher. How to prepare your child to take the Olsat test. Things that you can do is make sure that they rest, eat, and listen. Again, Milagros, do you know how many times the question can be stated?
Damn, things your child can do. Rest, eat, listen, and try.
Yes, they can try, and they can only be given the instructions one time. The directions can only be read one time. So other things that you can do is you can discuss and understand that the Olsat test provides a chance to show what they know and how the teacher can best support it. And then you can support them by making sure your child understands that the scores are just simply giving us information that will help them be in a right group to help motivate them and move them along. It is not used at all in a punitive way. You should not look, if your child doesn't pass this, you should not look at your child and say, oh, they're not smart. This measures a very specific hemisphere in your brain, achievement. And that's basically it. But there's lots of students that fall underneath those 7 different categories of gifted evaluations. And then relax. Make sure that your child knows that the test, reassure them about the test taking experience. Students who are calm and sure of themselves do better. One other thing I'd like to interject, Miss Milagros, is that the students have a tendency of going really fast in this test. So one thing that you can do to just really help them is to tell them to calm down and answer each question calmly. They don't have to rush through the sections. Now, test results, we will receive the test results right around December, the first week of December, and they will be mailed directly to each school, and I will send an envelope home with your child that says if they passed or didn't. Right around December 3rd, if you have not received the letter from myself, you can go ahead and call me, call the school, email me, and I'm glad to provide you the results. We receive this, we receive, where should we look for the qualifying score? When you receive this, the initial results, I want to let you know that there has been lots of confusion because there's the total age-based scores and then nonverbal scores, verbal age, total age-based scores. I want to let you know that they have to be at a 95 or above to qualify. And there's different numbers in there, and parents will look at a 90, 95, and they will automatically assume that their child is gifted. I want to make sure that you guys are aware of the only students who are officially categorized as gifted is when you receive a notice that says your child has passed. So first you're going to receive the results. That's going to come before the official letter. So don't make a judgment based on what you see. Wait until you receive the notification if your child has been labeled as gifted. A lot of parents, it's funny because a lot of parents I saw, sharing information, oh, my child's gifted, and they haven't received, no one has received the notice. And so I just want to caution you with that. Again, you'll see lots of numbers over here. So some parents were basing it based on a certain number. So I want to make sure that you know that it's very confusing to see it initially, and you will get a letter probably within a couple of weeks to let you know if they indeed did pass. Eligibility criteria. The score is used to compare student performance at a national sample with students in the same age. So it's comparative. The percentile range from a low of 1 to a high of 99. For example, if a child who is 6 years old has a percentage rank of 75, this means the child scored as well as or higher than 75% of 6-year-olds who were tested. Please note that the percentile rank and percent correct indication of how many questions your child answered correctly, they all have different meanings. Again, it's a very confusing thing to look at. Question: if my child is identified gifted in the high achievement category, does that mean that she can reapply next year? The answer is no. all gifted categories in LAUSD, once a student is identified gifted, the gifted identification will remain with the student for the rest of their time enrolled at LAUSD. So they will not receive it over and over again. It's just once. Here's another question. Okay, hold on. Let me stop recording really quickly. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Milagros, are you there? Let me pause the resume recording. If my child does not meet the criteria on the Olsat, can he or she still be referred in the intellectual category? Absolutely. There's some kids that dominate one hemisphere versus the other, and they can still be referred. But they cannot be referred for this particular one again. It says, however, all students still need to be thoroughly reviewed by the on-site gate review committee for appropriateness of referral. As of the spring 2017, students who receive a percentile rank score of 99 on the verbal or nonverbal scales of the Olsat must be automatically referred by the school site gate coordinator in the intellectual ability. So any students who take a state exam and they receive a 99, my job is to scan it and make sure that I'm referring these students. If your child meets the 99 APR score criteria, you may follow up with me, the gate coordinator, to make a referral in the intellectual category. So the next things are just sort of logistical information once your child is referred. So Miss Milagros, after all of that, do you have any questions at all?
I do actually. In case my child does not pass the Olsat, would a factor being a magnet or?
Absolutely not. It's never going to be a punitive test or negative consequences in any shape or form. It's just to help us cluster the students if by chance students do pass this intellectual category, this high achievement category, but they are not taken out of any program at all.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
No, just only that one.
Okay, perfect. And if there's anything that comes up, please feel free to email me, send me a message, call the school, and I'm super happy to answer your questions. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and stop our recording. Thank you, Milagros, for being here. Please make sure that you let me know if